Alright, welcome back to another league race. This time we're with TMC, and this time it is round number 8, I believe, or 9, around the Red Bull Ring in Austria. And well, we recorded and missed the beginning part of qualifying, but where am I? I'm down in 13th because you going into qualifying, the weather was going to be very wet to start the race. So I went with a wet. I had practiced in the wet, so I decided to do a wet setup, and in the hope that it would obviously be wet for a good period of the race, and I could put my eggs in that basket. So, anyways, P13. I was split on strategy, to be honest. Anyway, so look, I knew what I was getting into, and I knew what I was going to run in the race. So, look, that's how it goes. But anyways. Just a quick look at the standings. I'm actually doing quite well in 8th, just behind my teammate there on 32 points. And you see Bert, the 2 Red Bulls and such are running away. And then for the constructors, good off for Haas so far, 66 points. Very happy with that. But that shall change very soon. Anyways, some live commentary. Oh, flip me. We might get tries, yeah. When you see that symbol, you know it's bad. Yes, indeed. So, heavy rain to begin, and we'll see how we get on from here. Start from P13, or P12 because someone left. Anyway, 5 red lights. Off we go. Decent start. Sticking in lean to avoid the wheel spin. I get the jump here on Richie Davey, who is back for this race. And I just take it nice and cautiously into turn 1. I think I'm pushed slightly wide, but I have to just go with the flow. No pun intended, and I scoop around, and I pick myself into 11th place. So we're going to stick on board for a little bit of this, well, most of this first lap. These conditions are quite tricky, but I felt fairly confident, and there goes PFC Steve running wide. We move into the points, so good start for myself. Going from what was P12 basically into a points position, but yeah, I felt decent in these conditions because I had the setup and I had the practice done to try and run in these conditions, so I was prepared. I'm not sure how many other people were with regards setup or practice, but anyways, just going to take it easy. I don't want wing damage. A lot of high-speed corners here, so especially in this middle sector. Well, to a degree. I just want to keep it nice and easy. I'm very wary that Bert is behind me, the championship leader, and that may be uncomfortable because he's obviously much quicker than I am, so I was wary. I'm just pulling out here because it's hard to see. Like, the biggest thing about running, like, it's one thing to judge your braking zone in the wet, or behind another car, but to do it in the wet, like, it's hard to flip and see your braking point. So I'm just literally pulling to the side and seeing where on earth the braking point is, because otherwise, if I'm stuck in this spray, I'm just not going to see it, and so. Otherwise I'm going to get wing damage. Anyway, lap 3, going defensive. I thought I had the door closed enough to Bert. I left him the space, a bit of contact. No harm done, I don't believe. We're going to run side by side. His exit was compromised slightly, so I'm going to really fight this. Like, normally under normal circumstances, I might not fight this too much because I know it's Bert. I get a bit on the curb, but that doesn't matter too much. A little bit deep. Again, we leave Bert the space, give him that respect. He's along our side. A little bit just leave him enough room, and we actually keep that move. So I was like, yeah, I feel okay, because I had a little scrap there with Bert and kept my position, so I was happy with that. There's quite a bit of a train in front, so I wasn't falling behind, but I was definitely I'm definitely there and thereabouts to pounce if something does come up. Lap 4, heading into what I think was technically turn 3, they say, but I think we also say turn 2. A bit of contact behind as Yarham and Bert get into it, so that relieves a lot of pressure on me, actually, because I don't have to worry so much about the battle behind. I can focus in front. And speaking of, I think we're going to see Sargent. Are we seeing? Oh, I thought this was a lap. Anyways, just you can see the train kind of. There's Carl, my teammate, in front of me, and there's a couple of other cars. I mean, look at that. That's quite the. It's quite the train. So, just sitting tight. Again, just getting the feel for the conditions, and just focusing and just seeing what opportunities lie ahead. And so moving on to lap 5, we do find this is a lap where Sergeant Sway runs wide. my teammate gets through, and I'm hoping I can get through as well. Just gotta use the momentum, and so there we go. That is a P9 for myself. So happy days, I believe. Sergeant's way and wing damage. Lap 8. You can see the Carl actually hits into the back of Stevie G, and he's got wing damage, and they're going to have a bit of a come together. So they are he forces Carl off the track, and I just stick to the outside with using the differential in speed and into the braking zone. I leave him the space. Well, that's generous. I go wide really, and a bit of oversteer, almost catch Yarham, but thankfully I don't. And there you go. We went to P7, so that was a very productive lap. Unfortunate for my teammate, but look, that's just racing sometimes, and of course that was part of what derailed his race. But anyways, lap 12, defending from Yarham. This can be. I know Yarham has got pace, so I thought I had the door closed enough. I see him coming, so I left the space. But if I was someone else, that could have easily ended in tears, because that door was half closed, to be fair. It was a half gap, and so if I hadn't seen him coming, or if I was just aggressive, that could have been a disaster for both of us. So anyways, I spotted it and got out of it. Think about having to run back at Yarham, because he didn't get the best traction off of that right-hander, but not enough. I'm too far behind to do that, and we're back into P8. So you can see I've got the intermediate tyre set as well, so I'm expecting the inters to play into a factor somewhat soon. Maybe not right now. Lap 17 behind AFDC and Steph Lord and such behind me. Steph Lord and Bert, who are much quicker than me in this on this race. Steph Lord was getting close. I go defensive because I didn't want him to get any ideas. I run wide, and this allows Steph Lord to come up the inside. A bit of contact there, nothing doing. I'm going to run side by side, and I was absolutely adamant about keeping this position. So I go deep on the brakes, stick nice and tight to the line, and I'll have the inside line coming up to this next turn. And again, I'm just going to stick it, and I get the move done. A little bit of contact, not much traction there on the curb, and Steph Lord has a little come together of burst. And I thought that was, if I was to blame in any part of that, I thought it was harsh but fair, if nothing else. But I don't see myself to blame in there for that one. Lap 19, it is time. The crossover has become that point, and we're going to stick on the intermediate tyre. Tyre wear was good in this place anyway, so on the wet, so happy days. And Powdy behind me is going to make a wing change, so I'm going to get that position done on him. And just be very, very wary on this pit exit, because it can be a little tricky, and you can damage your entire race by screwing it up. Anyways, I emerged in P8 just ahead of Bert, so I was pretty happy with that. And like, Bert wasn't exactly tearing behind me and just galloping past me. I know Austria is a difficult place to overtake, but I knew that ultimately that he was quicker. And you could see like Bert and Steph Lord right behind me, and I thought, shoot, that's not good. The two fastest cars behind on track, and they are right behind me. So I knew I'd be coming under pressure from them soon enough. Lap 24, I get a horrible exit out this lap corner. This is going to allow Bert and Steph Lord to really fight it. Bert I kind of already lost, so I couldn't really defend that much, but I want to stick. It's going to go side by side anyway with them anyways. And live radio.
Oh, I've been hit from the rear. Flip me. It's flipping Steph Lord.
I'm reporting him and all for what he did tonight.
I might consider reporting that. I've lost 2 positions because of it.
So I was obviously less than thrilled during the race of what happens. I got hit from behind by Steph Lord. I knew the position of Bert I probably wasn't keeping anyways, but I had the right to defend it, and I was pushed off by Steph Lord. So nothing was given for that in the end. I actually did send it in because it annoyed me, because I lost 2 positions because someone else pushed me off the track, but nothing was done on this occasion, and so we lost 2 positions there, sadly, from P5 to P7. Lap 28, it's getting closer and closer to the dries. I am catching AFDC in front of me, still in a solid 7th position. Got the call to come onto the ultra soft. I thought, nah, it's just not right. It's just not the right time yet. So I kept going. My teammate had pitted the lap before, and you'll hear about it now. Actually,
AFDC's. Is it time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Look.
Well, I got pounded the shit out of this lap.
I just didn't trust it. Like, I just didn't trust it. Like, Jeff is questionable at the best of times, so I just didn't trust it. And by the time I went around, it was, of course, it was DRS was enabled. Like, the conditions changed, like, just like that. Like with the crossover point, it was vicious on this game. Anyways, ultra soft tires, the obvious choice really, and I'm gonna pop out in 9th place. And I have lost out a decent bit in the stops, going that one lap later, sadly. So, but my biggest problem now is the fact that I'm now running a wet setup with a lot of downforce, while I'm assuming the guys behind me are on dry, so like a dry setup. So I'm in huge trouble now. And lap 33, I mean, it's just too easy for Sway to, like, I'm gonna defend as best as I can, but I know he caught me I was 2.6 seconds or so ahead, and he caught me very, very quickly. Almost lose the back end there, and I had no chance of fighting that position with Sway. So that was P9 gone. I'm thinking, shit, I'm in trouble, because I will, like, do not tell me I've come all this way and I'm going to finish outside the points. So again, I'm defending super hard. Lap 34, like, I'm just dying for a points finish after everything that has happened in this race, all the fights. Jarhan gets a switch back, and I'm going to try and pop it. Like, I'm running low on fuel, but I'm going to try and this is my best chance. If I don't get this, this is done. Jarham's gone into the distance. I tried to switch back, but it just didn't work out, and there goes Jarhan. I knew then that PFC Steve was a long way behind me. So anyways, that was that. Lap 36, that was the race. Very frustrating to lose out there in the last, between the crossover point and then the final few laps in the dry stint. We're actually going to have some salvage here. Jarhan goes absolutely, he goes way off the track and absolutely bins it. Yeah, I managed to actually not lose a wheel somehow, and because I didn't have as many penalties as the guy in front, I actually jump up to 8th place, beating Sergeant Sway by 0.019. Now, actually, as it turns out, like, I had a penalty, but I sent it in and asked, look, I only had three warnings and 1 penalty. Some of them were a bit dubious in a sense, so could I send it in and maybe look at it, maybe consider taking one away? And it was taken, the penalty was taken away. So I actually, of course, as decided after the race, I actually moved into P7 above Stevie G, who was like 2.8 seconds ahead. So P7 from this race, from P13. Very happy with that result. I was actually content with P8, to be fair, because again, when I crossed the line, it was going to be 10th really, and it was P11 heading into the final corner. And this is me just checking the. I wanted to make sure how many warnings I had, and sure enough, I had 3. Anyways, that is Austria. That is round number 9. Next up is a track I quite enjoy a lot. It is Silverstone. Hopefully the pace will be decent there, but anyways, P8 round Austria, or P7 I should say, round Austria in the wet. Happy enough. Roll on Silverstone, the last of my favourite tracks coming up.